subject irrigation engineering, chapter crop water requirements, topic quality of irrigation water. So now students, let us discuss the new concept known as the quality of irrigation water. So you know that when we discuss about the environmental engineering part, in environmental engineering we have the sewage, right? We also have the drinking water concept. So whenever we are dealing with the drinking water, you know that there are some, you can say, some qualities of water which should be maintained in drinking water. For example, the fluoride content, it should not be more than 4 ppm, right? And for chloride it is 250 ppm. For other, you can say for TDS it is 1000, sometimes 500 ppm, right? The total dissolved solids, right? So everything has a certain limits. Same goes with the irrigation also. So the irrigation water also has certain limits, right? What is the first limit? The first limit is that the irrigation water should not be very turbid. Turbid means it has a lot of colloidal matter in it. What will happen if it is very turbid? So whenever you are doing irrigation on a particular field or particular land, so it will, you can say, it will choke the pores, right? What will happen if it will choke the pores? So this is one of the disadvantages of irrigation, that if you do a lot of irrigation, the pores or the voids, they get choked due to the turbid water. Then what is happening is that the water, it starts collecting over a field, right? It starts collecting over a field, which is known as the water logging, right? Then we have to do leaching, and what is leaching will be studying in some other topics, right? Then water logging is happening. What is happening in water logging is that the soil, it does not get proper air for aeration. What is happening if it does not get? So the plants, they get, you can say, the microorganism, they start growing and you get a foul smell, right? So water logging happens over a particular region. It also degrades the power of soil also, right? So it also, you can say, it is very harmful for plants also, right? So the quality of irrigation water should be maintained. So it should not be very turbid, right? It should not be very high alkaline. It should not be, you can say, very low, very high acidic, right? Okay. So these are some of the qualities of water, irrigation water, that should be maintained. Okay. Now coming to the perspective of gate examination, so what is important, right? So if I talk about the quality of water, so we have a few terms. The first term is known as the salinity concentration, right? So the first term that we study for gate examination is known as the salinity concentration. Salinity concentration. Saline means it has a lot of salts, right? So you know that even whether it is irrigation water or it's a normal water has many ions. So it can have sodium ions, it can also have, you can say, iron ions, Fe2 positive also, Fe3 positive also, right? Ferrite also, right? Okay, it can also have potassium, it can also have magnesium, it can also have calcium, etc, etc, etc. If somebody asks you that, okay, water has so many ions, but which of the following ions is most harmful for a plant? So your answer would be sodium. So the sodium ion is the most harmful for plants. Clear? Okay. So this is for, now regarding the salinity concentration, if the water is very saline, right? If my irrigation water is very saline, it means that it has a lot of, you can say, ions, sodium ions and iron ions. It has a lot of ions. Then what will be happening is that if it has a lot of salts, the salty ions, then what will be happening is that it will choke the pores. It will choke the pores. What will be happening is that the osmosis of plants will stop, right? So osmosis of plants will stop, right? What is osmosis? Movement of water from higher concentration to lower concentration is known as osmosis. You must have heard about in class 12th and 11th also reverse osmosis. So that is the same concept, right? Osmosis, right? So osmosis of plants, you can say it gets diminished, it becomes very less. So what is happening is that the plants, they are making their food due to a process known as the photosynthesis, right? So photosynthesis directly depends on the osmosis. So if osmosis is not happening, it means that the photosynthesis process will get hampered, right? If photosynthesis will get hampered, the plant growth will get hampered. Clear? It means that if the water has very high salinity, what will be happening is that the plant growths will get hampered. Simple, right? Now, to measure the salinity concentration, we have a formula also given in irrigation books, right? The salinity concentration, CS. CS means the salinity concentration is given by C into Q. I will be explaining what is C and what is Q, right? C into Q divided by Q minus, we have Cu minus P effective. Right? Now what is C? Now let me write here what is C, right? So C is the salinity concentration irrigation water, right? So C is known as the salinity concentration irrigation water. So salinity in water, salinity concentration irrigation water, right? The second thing is Q. Q is the discharge of water which you are providing to a particular field, right? Q is the discharge of water. Q is the discharge, right? So Q is the discharge. What is Cu? Cu is known as the consumptive requirement of water. Consumptive requirement, right? Let me explain what is this. Cu is the consumptive requirement. Consumptive requirement of water. Now, what is this consumptive requirement, right? So, consumptive requirement in simple words, I can say you that the water required to meet the evapotranspiration requirements, right? Now, what is evapotranspiration? I have already explained you in hydrology, right? So, the amount of water which is needed to overcome the evapotranspiration requirements is known as the consumptive requirement of water. If you remember, I told you that when we will be going through the irrigation engineering part, if you remember in hydrology I told you this, then I will be explaining your formula that is known as Branly-Kidder formula, right? So this consumptive requirement of water is calculated based on the Branly-Kidder formula, right? And what is the Branly-Kidder formula? If you remember, that is 2.54 kF. And what is F? F is summation of P into T divided by 100, where P is the percentage of daily mean hours, right? Annual mean hours, right? And T is the temperature in degree Fahrenheit. If you remember, I have told you each and everything in the hydrology portals, right? So this Cu minus P effective. So P effective is the effective rainfall. In some books it is also given as R. So it depends on you what you want to write, whether you want to write it R or P effective, whatever, right? So P effective is the effective rainfall, right? Effective rainfall is P effective. Clear? So this whole term Cu minus P effective, I will be explaining you after some time that this is known as the consumptive irrigation requirement. When I will be explaining you about the irrigation requirements, I will be explaining you the consumptive irrigation requirement. So consumptive irrigation requirement is given by Cu minus P effective or Cu minus R, excess rainfall, right? Effective rainfall. Clear? So I hope that you have understood this formula. Now the question is, okay, you have given us this formula. Is there any range or limits that the CS should lie between? Yes, the answer is yes, right? So you write down the limits. So in books it is written that even if you go for the MTech also, you will be taught that if this CS value is greater than 2000, if CS value is greater than 2000, it is harmful for every plant, right? It is harmful for every plant. Harmful for every plant or every crop or whatever you want to say, right? If the value of CS it lies between 700 and 2000, right? If it lies between 700 CS and 2000, then this is harmful for some plants, right? It is harmful for some plants. Harmful for some plants. Some plants. Clear? Now let me use another marker. It is harmful for some plants. Now if the value of CS is less than 700, then it is good. We can use the water for, you can say, for any type of crop, if the value of CS is less than 700. Clear? So I hope that you have understood the concept of salinity concentration, and numericals have been asked, not in GATE examination, but ESC examination, state level PSC examination, SSC JEE examination, many examinations, questions have been asked directly from this topic, and I hope that in GATE examination also questions can come from this topic. Clear? Now let's move forward. After the salinity concentration, what the second important topic is known as the presence of salts in water, right? So let me rub this. So let us come to the next concept, that is known as the presence of salts in water. Number 2. I hope that you have understood this, right? I am linking hydrology with irrigation so that you don't get confused, right? So let me write down the second one, that is the presence of salt in water. Number 2. Presence of salts in water. Salts in water, right? So presence of salts in water. Now this is very important. The presence of salts in water is measured by a term known as electrical conductivity. Now what is conductivity? If you remember that in class, you can say class 12, you must have heard about voltage is directly proportional to current. So voltage is equals to resistance into current, if you remember, right? So the inverse of resistance is known as conductivity. The inverse of resistance is known as conductivity, and the unit of conductivity, if you remember, the unit of resistance is ohm, right? OHM, and the unit of conductivity is mho, inverse MHO, if you remember. So I am just recapitulating your class 12 and class 11 concepts to make you understand what is electrical conductivity. Why? Because this question has been asked in examinations, that the presence of salts is measured by, the answer will be electrical conductivity. Electrical conductivity, right? So the presence of salts in water is calculated by electrical conductivity, right? And in most appropriately, the unit of electrical conductivity, if you calculating electrical conductivity per unit length, then it is, and in microns it is given by micro mho MHO per centimeter. Micro mho per centimeter, right? So the it is said that if the electrical conductivity is less than or equal to 250 micro mho per centimeter, then it is known as the low conductivity. Low conductivity, and it is denoted by, this is very conductivity, right? And it is denoted by, this is very important, it is denoted by C1. C1 means low conductivity, right? Now if the value of your electrical conductivity lies between 250 to 750, again I am repeating, if it lies between 250 to 750, it is known as the medium conductivity. Medium conductivity, that is given by C2. Sir, now question is, sir, is the C1 and C2 important? Yes, this is important. I will be solving one question, and then I will let you know that this is important. For example, in fluid mechanics, I have gone to fluid mechanics, right? Now in fluid mechanics, you must have observed when you are studying the gradually varied flow, GVF. So we have some profiles, right? Like this M2 S1 profile, S1 H1 profile, and so on, right? So here also these types of questions are asked in GATE exam very frequently, right? So here also in irrigation also these types of questions are asked, right? So this type of soil is C1 S1 or C2 S1. Now what is C1 S1, C2 S1? I will let you know, right? Okay. So these types of questions are coming in irrigation engineering. Okay. So if it lies between 250 to 750, it is a medium conductivity soil, which is given by C2, right? Third one is students, if it lies between 750 to 2250. These values are important, right? Because sometimes the boundary values are asked in examination. Let us say it is asking you what is the type of, you can say, water, irrigation water, what is the type of irrigation water if the electrical conductivity is 2200, then you get confused that whether it might be in some book 2200, sir had told me it is 2250, but don't worry, in every book it is given 2250, don't worry about it, right? So it is known as the high conductivity given by C3. Clear? Now next one is, if it is greater than 2250, this is known as very high conductivity, and it is given by C4. Clear? So I hope that you have understood the presence of salts in water, right? Now the question is, this question has been asked many times in examinations, that what will happen if the conductivity increases, right? What will happen if the conductivity increases? Up arrow means it increases, right? This is note. This is important, right? Important. This has been asked in many examinations, right? Directly or indirectly. If the conductivity increases, always remember students that the pH will increase. What will happen? pH will increase. Why? Because pH is known as the negative logarithm of the hydrogen ion concentration. If the conductivity is increasing, obviously the hydrogen ion concentration will be increasing, and hence the pH will be increasing. Okay? Now, if the conductivity is increasing, the pH is increasing, another important thing is that the you can say the permeability of soil will be decreasing, right? Permeability of soil will be decreasing. What will be decreasing? Because if it has a higher conductivity, it means that it has a lot of salts. If lot of salts are there in soil, so there is a high probability that they will choke the pores. If they will choke the pores, the permeability will directly be reduced, because permeability will directly proportional to the void ratio of the pores, right? So it will be decreased, right? Now, if the pH is increasing, permeability is decreasing. Now, if the conductivity increases, then the plasticity increases. Always remember this also. Plasticity increases. Clear? This has been asked many times, that the conductivity is directly proportional to, sometimes it is permeability, pH, or what. So the correct answer would be plasticity. So options are like this, right? So what is the effect of conductivity on plasticity? The plasticity increases. What is plasticity? Plasticity, you can say it is very sticky. In geotechnical, you must have heard of plasticity. It is very sticky, so the cohesion is very high. Those soils are known as the plastic soils, right? Okay. So I hope that you have understood about the presence of salts in water. What are the various limits, right? Okay, that and what are the various, you can C1, C2, C3, C4. Now let's move to the third important parameter in the quality of irrigation water, that is known as the SAR. Now what is SAR? SAR is known as the sodium absorption ratio. Now let me rub this, right? Now let us come to next you can say point, that is the SAR, sodium absorption ratio. I hope you are getting it, right? I told you that sodium ion concentration is very harmful for water, for irrigation water. So your SAR should be low, right? If your SAR is very high, it means that the water is toxic. It is not useful for irrigation purposes, right? Okay, so let me write down the next thing, that is the SAR, sodium absorption ratio, and this is also very important. SAR, that is known as the sodium absorption ratio. Sodium absorption ratio, right? So the formula for SAR given, so SAR is given by, right? This is important. SAR is given by Na positive ions, the concentration of Na positive ion divided by under root of Ca 2 plus ions plus Mg 2 positive ions divided by 2, average of the calcium ions and magnesium ions, right? Average of this square root, and we have a numerator Na positive ions. That is the concentration of Na positive ions. Clear? Okay. Now it also has some values, it also has some limits. So first one is, if the sodium absorption ratio is between 0 to 10, then this type of water can be used for any type of soil, right? And that is known as the low sodium water. Low sodium water, and this is denoted by S1. So I told you now, questions are coming from this part, C2, S1, C1, S2. So electrical conductivity units as well as the, you can say as well as the sodium SAR ratio will be given to you. So you have to identify which type of water is this, right? Okay. And the second is, if it is between 10 to 18, it is known as the medium sodium water. Medium sodium water, that is S2. Clear? If it is in between 18 to 26, if it is in between 18 to 26, this is known as high sodium water. High sodium water, that is S3. And if it is greater than 26, if it is greater than 26, then this type of water is known as very high sodium water, right? So very high sodium water denoted by S4. So I hope that you have understood what type of questions can come from this topic. It can directly from the SAR ratio, or it can be from the S1, S2, S3, S4 and so on. Right? So these values should be remembered. 0 to 18, 0 to 10, 10 to 18, 18 to 26, right? And more than 26, right? So can you remember this? Yeah, this is very easy. 0 to 10 you have to remember, plus 8, 18 plus 8, 26 and more than 26. Clear? Okay? So I hope that you have understood what are the various, you can say, the quality of irrigation water, right? We also have that is not important. We also have boron, right? We also have boron, which can cause borism, right? We also have boron. The boron concentration should not be greater than 0.3 ppm. That is not important. We also have one more component, one more chemical, that is selenium, right? So selenium is basically found in shampoos. So selenium should be absent. It should be absent in, you can say, water, right? It should be almost absent in water. That is very harmful. Absent in water. It should be almost absent in water, right? Okay, so these are the few quality of irrigation water that should be maintained for, you can say, for a good application, or you can say good efficiency of irrigation water to plants. Yeah, otherwise what will happen, you can do irrigation, no problem in that, but the thing is that if you have a lot of chemicals in water, so what will be happening is that it will be, you can say, dangerous for the health of consumers also, and plus after 1 year, 2 year, or after one crop cycle, 2 cycle, the soil will get choked, and you will not be able to grow more crops without leaching or without some other remedies. Clear? So I hope that you have understood this. So few numericals can be asked from this topic. Now what type of numericals can be asked? Let's see in the next video. Thank you.